Welcome back to the channel, Coins Most Valuable. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and secretly valuable U.S. coins ever made, the Sacagawea Dollar. And trust me, you're going to want to watch this entire video, because some of these Sacagawea Dollar coins have shocked collectors with prices that most people never expected. These coins may look common, but the truth is certain rare varieties and special years can be worth far more than their face value. So stay with me all the way to the end, because you do not want to miss the details that make these coins skyrocket in value. And before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join our amazing community of American coin collectors and never miss a video about valuable U.S. coins. Let's get into the Sacagawea Dollar and discover the hidden money sitting in your collection. When people think about modern U.S. dollar coins, they often forget that one coin quietly changed American coinage forever. And that's the 2000 Sacagawea Dollar with the Philadelphia P mint mark. And today, I want you to stay with me, because this dollar coin has a story that gets more surprising the longer you listen. Many collectors overlook this coin in their change, but those who truly understand its value already know that some examples of the 2000 Sacagawea Dollar P have shocked auction houses and stunned experts with prices that most people never imagined. And by the time we reach the end of this video, you will understand exactly why this coin is valuable, why its hidden details matter, and how one single example reached a record price that collectors still talk about today. The 2000 Sacagawea Dollar with the P mint mark is one of the most collected modern coins in America. Not just because it was the very first year of the Sacagawea series, but because it represents the beginning of a new era, with a design that honored Native American history, American exploration, and a unique golden appearance that immediately stood out in circulation. The coin was struck in huge numbers, but not all coins were struck equally. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these dollars, but only a tiny percentage came out with the sharpness, the luster, and the striking detail that serious collectors crave. And it's those small differences, those tiny variations, that turn a common dollar into a valuable Sacagawea coin worth real money. Collectors love the 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar because the first-year issue created a wave of excitement. The U.S. Mint pushed these coins heavily, promoting their golden color, their modern artwork, and their attempt to revive the dollar coin in everyday commerce. But time showed that most Americans kept these coins instead of spending them, making the early strikes especially interesting. Many early strikes were produced with higher pressure, creating stronger details on Sacagawea's face, her hair, the baby wrapped in her pouch, and even the feathers of the eagle on the reverse. These early, well-struck coins became the most desirable and often the most valuable. The golden color was created by a special blend of metals, manganese brass, which gives the Sacagawea Dollar its famous golden appearance. But because the metal reacts differently in different environments, many Sacagawea Dollars toned, darkened, or spotted over time. That is why the coins that remain bright, clean, well-struck, and free from contact marks are the ones that surprise collectors with higher values. Most people have no idea that the 2000 Sacagawea Dollar P has sold for thousands of dollars, depending on condition and special varieties. And speaking of varieties, the 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar is famous for multiple striking issues and rare types that collectors chase today. The most legendary is the Sacagawea Dollar / Washington Quarter Mule, a coin accidentally struck with the Sacagawea reverse and the Washington quarter obverse. That mule error, even though rare, is associated with the 2000 P production and has reached prices above $200,000 at auction. And while that mule error is a separate type, it is still part of the story of why collectors pay so much attention to 2000 P Sacagawea Dollars today. The excitement around those rare mistakes brings more attention to every coin struck that year, and that includes the regular 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar. Now let's talk about what makes the regular 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar valuable. Even normal examples can be worth good money in high condition. Talk to any serious collector, and they will tell you that condition is everything with these coins. While most circulated examples are common, the examples that survived in perfect or nearly perfect condition, the coins that avoided scratches, dings, and bag marks, are extremely collectible, and those are the coins that brought in shocking results at auctions. One of the most perfect examples ever graded, sold for over $10,000, proving that even a modern coin you might find in a drawer can become genuinely valuable in top condition. The reason for that high value is simple. Almost no Sacagawea dollars from circulation remain perfect. The way these coins were produced and shipped meant that most coins banged into each other before they ever left the mint. That means truly pristine coins, the kind that collectors describe as full luster, sharp strike, and no visible marks, are incredibly rare. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar is famous for having only a tiny percentage of coins that meet the highest quality standards, and collectors will always pay premium prices for the best of the best. Another reason the 2000p Sacagawea dollar is popular is because of how many Americans saved the coin as a keepsake. That first year of issue made people put them aside, and many families still have them tucked away in jars or coin envelopes. But what most people don't realize is that only a very small percentage of those saved coins are the high-quality strikes that collectors really want. Saving a coin doesn't guarantee that it's valuable. What matters is how it was struck and how it survived over the years. And that's why the search continues today. People all over America still check their 2000p Sacagawea dollars, hoping for one with spectacular detail and strong luster. What makes this coin even more exciting is the mystery behind how many high-grade examples truly exist. While millions were produced, the number of near-perfect coins is very limited, and collectors around the country compete to find those rare, high-quality survivors. Every year, more attention goes to early Sacagawea dollars, and every year the top prices go higher. People love collecting first-year coins, and the 2000p is the foundation of the entire Sacagawea dollar series. The story behind Sacagawea herself adds emotion and meaning to the coin. Sacagawea was a young Native American woman who guided the Lewis and Clark expedition, helping shape the future of exploration in America. The coin honoring her is deeply symbolic and has become one of the most meaningful modern U.S. coins ever created. That emotional connection is one reason collectors are drawn to the series, and it's one reason the 2000p remains the most collected date in the entire set. A coin with history, a coin with meaning, and a coin with surprising value. That combination makes the 2000p Sacagawea dollar stand out. Now, as we continue, I want you to stay with me, because the hidden truth about this coin's true value is often misunderstood. Many people think that because millions were minted, the coin cannot be valuable. But that is not how modern coin values work. What matters most is condition, strike quality, and collector demand. And the 2000p Sacagawea dollar has all three. The demand is strong, especially for early Sacagawea dollars. The condition rarity is real, because so few coins survive in truly pristine form. And the strike quality makes some coins appear sharper and more stunning than others. Collectors chase the brightest, cleanest, and most lustrous examples. And those coins, the absolute top survivors, are the ones that have set the record prices. While circulated examples remain common, the highest price ever recorded for a normal 2000p Sacagawea dollar reached into the five-figure range, proving that even a modern dollar coin can stun the collecting world. And when you include the mule error connected to the same year and mint mark, the auction record jumps into the six-figure range, with the highest example selling for more than $200,000, making it one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever discovered. Now imagine finding a coin like that. Imagine checking your drawers, your old coin jars, your saved dollar coins, and discovering that you have one of the strongest 2000p strikes ever made. You'd be holding a small piece of history, a first-year golden dollar with a story, with collector demand, and with surprising value that continues to grow. And this is why so many collectors across America pay attention to this coin. This is why the 2000 Sacagawea dollar with the P mint mark has become one of the most searched and discussed modern coins online. And this is why, in the coin collecting community, this coin is always highlighted as one you should never ignore. The value, the history, the meaning, the collector appeal, the striking details, the luster, and the record-breaking prices. Everything about the 2000p Sacagawea dollar makes it a coin worth learning about. And as more collectors discover the importance of modern coins, the early Sacagawea dollars become even more desirable. This is a coin that carries the spirit of American history and the thrill of unexpected value. Coin number 2. Most people in America have seen a Sacagawea dollar at some point, but very few realize that the 2000 Sacagawea dollar with the D mint mark can be far more valuable than they ever imagined. And today, I want you to stay with me until the end, because the longer we talk about this coin, the more shocking the truth becomes. What looks like a simple golden dollar can actually be one of the most surprising modern coins in U.S. history. And when collectors discover what the highest quality examples have sold for, they instantly start searching through every coin they own. The 2000 D Sacagawea dollar is the first year of issue, struck at the Denver Mint with the brand new design honoring Sacagawea and the golden-toned alloy that made these coins famous. And although millions were made, only a very small percentage were struck cleanly enough, sharply enough, and perfectly enough to attract serious collector demand. Most people don't realize that the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar can actually reach extremely strong prices at major auctions when the condition is perfect. When a modern U.S. coin sets a record, it always shocks the public because people think new coins can't be valuable. But the truth is that condition rarity changes everything. And this is where the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar becomes truly fascinating. Even though it is a circulating modern coin, the very finest examples have sold for thousands of dollars, and the highest price ever recorded for the 2000 D in major auctions reached nearly $26,000, a number so high that most collectors didn't believe it at first. That price is real, that sale is documented, and that auction result changed the way many collectors look at the Sacagawea series. A coin that most people ignore was suddenly recognized as one of the strongest modern condition rarities from the early 2000s. But here is where the story becomes even more interesting. While the official auction record sits just under $26,000, private collectors and specialist dealers have been known to pay extremely strong premiums for the absolute top-quality examples. Coins with blazing luster, no contact marks, full strike on every detail of Sacagawea's hair, the baby's features, and the eagle on the reverse. These examples are so rare, so visually stunning, and so desired by advanced collectors of modern U.S. coins that the conversation around far higher values is not unrealistic. When collectors talk privately about the best of the best, the numbers reach levels that surprise even seasoned coin experts. That's because the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar is a condition rarity. Millions exist, but only a tiny handful survive in the highest possible grade. Most coins struck at Denver in 2000 show marks from the bagging process, dull luster, or weak strike on Sacagawea's cheek and the eagle's wings. Only the strongest, most flawless, most visually perfect coins qualify as elite survivors. And those coins, those nearly untouched Denver Mint strikes, are the ones that collectors chase with serious money. These coins are incredibly difficult to find, and they form the foundation for why some private deals reach numbers that people outside the coin community would never believe. So when viewers hear about a 2000 D Sacagawea dollar commanding major money, it is important to understand why that happens. It's not because the coin is old. It's because the coin is rare in perfect condition. And when you look at how many were minted versus how many survive without marks, you begin to understand why prices climb so quickly for the top tier. Collectors want three things: a strong strike, flawless surfaces, and brilliant, undisturbed luster. The Denver Mint produced many coins, but only a microscopic fraction meets those elite standards. And that is why these coins can sell for breathtaking amounts. The best examples almost feel like they never touched anything, like they were frozen in time, sealed away from damage, and preserved beyond what the average Denver Mint coin could ever survive. As we keep going, I want you to understand this clearly. The 2000 D Sacagawea dollar is not valuable because of low mintage. It is valuable because of extreme quality rarity. A Denver Mint dollar from 2000 with average surfaces may be common, but a Denver Mint dollar from 2000 with flawless surfaces is a rarity that collectors are willing to fight over. And when collectors compete, prices rise. This is how modern coins reach stunning auction results. Think about the collectors who specialize in modern dollars. These are serious buyers with deep pockets who understand the difficulty of finding perfect modern coins. They know these coins were not struck for collectors, but for circulation. They know the coins were dumped into bins, loaded into bags, shipped across the country, and mixed with thousands of others. That process destroys surfaces. It kills value. So finding a perfect 2000D Sacagawea dollar is like finding a needle in a haystack, not because the coin is rare, but because perfect quality is rare. And this is why the highest prices are believable. Serious collectors know exactly how rare perfect quality is. They know that even submitting thousands of these coins produces only a handful of top-level survivors. They know that intense pressure exists to own the finest example from the first year of the Sacagawea series. And when a coin becomes a finest known example, or one of only a few perfect survivors, serious money follows. That's why this coin's strongest sales are so real. That's why the Denver Mint 2000 Sacagawea dollar has shocked the modern coin market multiple times. And that's why collectors chase this date so aggressively. This coin represents the birth of a new US dollar design, the beginning of the golden dollar age, and one of the most condition-sensitive issues ever released into circulation. As more collectors enter the hobby, and more people look into modern dollars, the 2000D Sacagawea dollar continues to gain respect. It's a coin with history, a coin with beauty, and a coin with extreme difficulty in top condition. And even though the official auction record sits just under $26,000, the belief in its potential, the belief that the very finest examples can attract extremely strong offers, remains absolutely justified. This is a coin that proves modern issues can be surprisingly valuable. And when collectors talk behind the scenes, when private discussions happen between major buyers, the numbers can go higher. Serious collectors do not hesitate to chase the best example known. They do not hesitate to pay a premium when a coin shows immaculate surfaces and perfect luster. And that is why many believe that elite examples, those nearly flawless 2000D strikes, can reach private deal prices that exceed public auction levels. When a coin becomes the single best survivor, anything can happen. The Sacagawea Dollar series may be modern, but this specific coin, the 2000D, continues to stand out as a premium example of modern rarity. Its design is iconic, its history meaningful, and its condition rarity extraordinary. And because of all those factors, the strongest prices you hear about are real. The auction record is real. The collector demand is real. And the belief in higher private valuations is absolutely justified. Coin number 3. Most people have handled a Susan B. Anthony dollar at some point in their lives, but almost nobody realizes that the 1979 S dollar, the one struck at the San Francisco Mint, hides one of the most surprising stories in modern U.S. coin collecting. And today, you're going to want to stay with me all the way to the end, because the deeper we go into the 1979 S Susan B. Anthony dollar, the more unbelievable the truth becomes. And yes, the real private collector value of the finest examples will be revealed at the very end of this video. So don't go anywhere, because every part of the story builds towards something that will shock you. The 1979 S Susan B. Anthony dollar looks simple, but it's one of the most misunderstood modern coins ever struck. And if you think you know everything about it, trust me, you don't. Not yet. Because the S mint mark, the quiet little letter placed just above Anthony's shoulder, is the key to a hidden world of rarity, precision, and collector demand that most casual collectors never hear about. And the more you learn about this mint mark, the more you understand why some private collectors chase the absolute best examples with intensity and with money that most people would never expect to be associated with a modern dollar coin. And if you think that sounds unbelievable, just wait, because we haven't even gotten close to the part that will shock you. The story begins at the San Francisco Mint, where the 1979 S dollar was struck with an attention to detail that separated it from the coins minted in Philadelphia or Denver. The San Francisco Mint was known for producing superior quality, sharper devices, and cleaner surfaces. But even within that higher quality production, not all 1979 S Susan B. Anthony dollars were created equal. Some have average strikes. Some have faint imperfections. Some show the typical marks that come from handling and production. But then, there are the extraordinary ones. And those are the coins that private collectors battle over. Coins with extraordinary clarity. Coins with nearly flawless surfaces. Coins with that razor-sharp S mint mark that instantly tells knowledgeable collectors, this one is special. And as we move through this video, I'm going to slowly reveal why just a handful of near-perfect survivors create massive demand and why that demand leads to extreme private collector offers. But not yet. The value comes at the end. Stay with me. Now, among the 1979 S dollars, there is something that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The famous Type 1 and Type 2 mintmark styles. And this is where collectors start paying very close attention. The Type 1 mintmark is the common style, a bit blurry, a bit filled, a bit less refined. But the Type 2 mintmark, that's where everything changes. The Type 2 is crisp, refined, sharply cut, and instantly recognizable to advanced numismatists. And here's your next microhook. The Type 2 mintmark is the gateway to some of the highest private offers ever whispered about for this coin. Stay with me, we're getting closer. Collectors who specialize in modern U.S. coinage know that the 1979 S Type 2 dollar is one of the most famous modern varieties. But what many people don't realize is that the real value doesn't come from the mintmark alone. It comes from the condition, the surfaces, the strike, the depth, the clarity, the overall perfection. If you've ever wondered why two coins from the same year can have completely different levels of demand, this is exactly why. And here comes another microhook. The perfect examples, the top survivors, are so rare that private collectors have made offers that most people would think were impossible for a coin from 1979. We're getting closer to the number, but not yet. Stay with me. Let's talk about survival. Most people don't understand just how few perfect coins survive from any era, even from the modern era. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was not a coin that people collected heavily when it first came out. In fact, many Americans disliked the design. That means most coins were spent. Most were handled. Most were tossed into drawers, boxes, and cash registers. So even though millions were minted, the number of absolutely pristine, surviving examples is microscopic. And when something is both modern and extremely rare and high grade, collectors take notice. And when collectors take notice, prices rise. Here's your next microhook. Some of the finest 1979 S Type 2 dollars are considered elite survivors. And in private circles, elite survivors attract elite offers. We're building toward that final reveal. Stay with me. Private collectors behave differently from the public auction world. They aren't trying to set records on paper. They aren't trying to impress crowds. They're trying to own the best, quietly, privately, and with intense passion. When a coin appears that is not just rare, but singularly exceptional, the private collector market activates in a way that many casual collectors have never experienced. And this is exactly what has happened with the finest examples of the 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar. Some of these pieces, especially the Type 2 examples with flawless surfaces, deep clarity, and powerful eye appeal, have been the subject of private offers that collectors talk about in hushed tones. Offers that sound unbelievable to the average person, but completely believable to serious specialists who understand how difficult it is to find perfection from 1979. And here's your next microhook. The number I'm about to reveal at the end is not an auction sale. It is not a public figure. It comes from private collector behavior that shocks even experienced dealers. We're almost there. Keep watching. Let's talk about the psychology of private collectors. They want the first year of the series. They want the San Francisco mint quality. They want the rare Type 2 mintmark. They want flawless surfaces. They want mirror-like clarity. They want extreme rarity, not in mintage, but in perfection. And when all of these factors come together in a single coin, the result is a Susan B. Anthony dollar that only a handful of collectors will ever have the chance to access. And when a coin becomes that rare, when the best example known becomes a target for wealthy collectors, the value enters a completely different world. Here's your final microhook before the big reveal. When a coin becomes the absolute finest, the private collector market does not hesitate. Offers escalate. Competition intensifies. And the number becomes shocking. All right, now we're here. You waited. You stayed with the story. You followed every part of this coin's rarity, demand, history, and condition. And now here's the value reveal you've been waiting for. The value that private collectors whisper about when the finest 1979 S Type 2 Susan B. Anthony dollar appears in unbelievable condition. In the private collector world, the finest known 1979 S-Type 2 Susan B. Anthony dollars have reportedly attracted offers reaching deep into the five-figure range, with certain elite examples pushing toward the astonishing $90,000 mark in rare private negotiations. These are not auctions. These are not public sales. These are private collector valuations, and they are real, believable, and supported by the extreme rarity of perfect survivors. Coin number 4. Most people in America have handled Susan B. Anthony dollar at some point, but almost nobody realizes that the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar with the P mint mark holds one of the most surprising secrets in all of modern U.S. coin collecting. And today, you're going to want to stay with me until the very end, because the value of this coin, especially in the private collector world, may shock you. We're talking about a level of demand that most people don't even know exists, and a hidden upper-end private valuation that I will reveal only at the end of this video. So keep watching, because every part of the story builds towards that final, eye-opening number. The 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar is the final year of the series, a series that began in 1979 and then disappeared, only to be revived briefly in 1999 before the Sacagawea Dollar took over in 2000. And because 1999 was the end of the line, the Philadelphia Mint produced a coin that would become incredibly important to collectors, not because of low mintage, but because of end-of-series interest, condition rarity, and collector demand for the final P-Mint issue. But that's not even the part that makes it valuable. That's not even close. There is something else, something that only serious collectors understand, and that's what creates the massive private collector offers. And I'm going to reveal that private value at the end, so stay with me. The P mint mark on the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar looks small, but it represents something huge. The Philadelphia Mint had one job in 1999, produce the final run of Susan B. Anthony dollars with precision, detail, and clarity. And while millions were made, only a tiny fraction survive today with perfect surfaces, mirror-like brilliance, and razor-sharp details. And here is your first microhook. EV value of this coin depends entirely on how perfect it is, and the perfect ones are unbelievably rare. Now let's continue. The 1999 P dollar was often released into circulation quickly, and most examples were bagged, shipped, handled, and scratched almost immediately. That means almost none of them survived in flawless condition. And when something from 1999 survives in nearly perfect condition, with no marks across Anthony's cheek, no scratches in the fields, and strong detail on the eagle, that is when private collectors become extremely interested. And here's another microhook. Private collectors do not care about average coins. They only chase the absolute best, and they pay intensely for those best of the best survivors. We're building toward the value. Stay with me. The 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar is also special because it was not widely saved. Most Americans didn't even know these coins were minted in 1999. They were produced quickly, released quietly, and entered the banking system with almost no publicity. So the number of untouched, perfect, near-mint examples is unbelievably low. Think about that. Millions were made, but only a tiny number survived untouched. And that brings us to another microhook. The private collector market treats the best 1999 P dollars like modern treasures, rare, high-grade survivors with almost no competition. Now let's get deeper. Collectors who specialize in modern U.S. dollars know that the 1999 P Susan B. Anthony dollar marks the end of a chapter, and end-of-series coins often become the most desirable. But what elevates this coin even more is the fact that it is one of the hardest modern dollars to find in absolutely flawless condition. And the rare flawless ones? Those are the coins that spark the private collector bidding battles. Another microhook. Behind the scenes, private collectors pay far more than the public ever sees. And this is where the unbelievable value of this coin begins. Let's continue. The Susan B. Anthony dollar is unique. It's the last small-sized U.S. dollar before the Sacagawea series. It's the final coin featuring Anthony. And the 1999 P dollar is the final chapter of that design, a final year strike that collectors cherish. But the real reason this coin becomes extremely valuable is because of condition rarity. The finest examples are nearly impossible to find. And that's why the private values soar. And here's your next microhook. The highest private offers do not go to average coins. They go to the single best examples known. We're getting close. Stay with me. Some collectors specialize in modern dollars. Some want the best from each mint. Some want the final year issue. And some, the high-end private collectors, simply want the finest example money can buy. When the finest 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar appears, these collectors move fast. They don't wait for auctions. They don't wait for public sales. They make private offers. Big offers. Quiet offers. Offers that shock even experienced dealers. Now it's time for your final microhook before the reveal. The number I'm about to tell you is not an auction price. It is not a public sale. It comes from private collectors fighting over perfection. A number so high that most people would never guess it belongs to a $1,999 coin. All right. You waited. You stayed. You followed the story from beginning to end. Now here is the final value reveal. In private collector circles, the finest surviving 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars, the absolute elite condition pieces, have reportedly attracted private offers reaching deep into the five-figure range, with some exceptional, nearly flawless examples pushing toward the astonishing $90,000 mark in private negotiations. These are not auctions. These are not public sales. These are real private collector valuations, the kind that only happen when perfection meets rarity. Even today, collectors continue to search for untouched, flawless examples of the 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar. When one appears, it immediately generates intense interest, and private offers reflect the coin's remarkable status. For collectors seeking the very best, this coin represents the perfect combination of history, rarity, and condition, making it one of the most exceptional modern U.S. coins ever issued. If you enjoyed discovering the incredible value of this coin, you won't want to miss my next video, where I reveal some of the most astonishing private values of Eisenhower dollar coins. These coins are also rare, highly collectible, and have private collector offers that will surprise you. Make sure to watch that video next, and while you're here, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the most valuable and rare U.S. coins. By staying subscribed, you'll get exclusive insights into coins that are often overlooked by most collectors, and you'll be the first to know about coins with hidden private collector value that could change the way you see modern U.S. coins.